Away we go. Perfect night for football. Dacos crunched by a couple of cats early. Crunched a second time as well. Coming back is Manor. Smith. They work it forward. Mullen driving ball deep. Good contest, and Neil floats back and takes a strong mark above his head. 5 goals for the season for the big number 33. For the opener on Saturday night. Pops it home, great start to Cats.
Now linked up with Stengel, floats it down to Dangerfield. Billy Frampton came across.
I don't think Jamie Elliott can be, although he was last week, involved in an unrealistic attempt.
Bowes waited till Holmes arrived so they could make the most out of this play on the way out. Trying to protect it, so Dempsey marks, darts, down to Cameron. Moore arrives in time to spoil perfectly for Stengel. Cats open everywhere. Ollie Henry, the former Pie, saw his teammate, and it's blitz arms. He will literally pop up anywhere on the field, and he loves being in the goal square and ramming that through.
Left foot piercing ball, he's turned it straight over, coming off the line. And good to see Mitch Duncan after a extended spell in the VFL get his opportunity. Into the path of Stengel. Bailey Smith runs onto it. King of meters gain. Goes all the way. Bailey Smith! Why wouldn't he? Arm in the air. Bailey knows it from 55.
Handball off to Cox. Hard for Membry to contain. Schultz came with a rush. Up against him O'Sullivan, who was superb last week. Duncan.
Good exit. Smith continues to run and gain metres to Dangerfield. Just burns them off, does Bailey. Sends it down, Cox with the spoil. Planer at ground level. Just gets away from his man. Back to Stengel though. Dangerous inside 50. Sends it forward. Dempsey will come from behind! And take a big hanger over side bottom. And a big smile too. Why wouldn't you in front of 80,000?
I reckon Steele Sidebottom knew he was in trouble. He was sitting under that ball. Yes.
Dempsey for a 12th goal of the season. Big mark, easy goal. Sends it inside. Cox is again the target. DeGoey elected to stay down. His man went up. A good mark. Go back to Holmes.
It's against from turnover in terms of the hardest team in the comp to score from turnover. So that's a good result here for the Cats. Just doesn't happen.
Beautifully seen. Maynard on a set play tried to link up with Bobby Hill. Instead, O'Sullivan did well to Atkins, and they progressed, but only so far. Collingwood digging in first for Josh Dacos. Now Crisp is popping it.
Side bottom. Nick Dacos goes to something along the ground. It rolls, it spins! And the diving effort in defence.
Compare it to what Wilshere just had.
Bites something off. One by Atkins got a hand. Opportunity now for Stengel. Assesses his options. Looks for close in the long sleeves. Henry's ahead of the footy. Just chips it down to in his path. Ollie Henry to a chorus of boos in front of the Shane Warne stand. Needs to shape it back. Hits it nicely. Perfectly. Turns to the crowd, and that is the goal the Cats needed to break. 2.5 metre nearly. Texan standing in front of him to take it. Chris comes back. O'Sullivan attacks it hard.
Geez, he just makes good decisions, Chief, doesn't he, for a young man?
He does. Well, had a quick look to the inside. He was trying to link up with Membry, or Humphreys was committed, but he couldn't handle the fluky ball. Here's O'Sullivan again. Sweeping handball. He set up Mitch Duncan. Good enough. Sight.
Dacos
Tries to plant a ball to a teammate. Doesn't quite work out to go. He's got Mullen for company. Overrunning it.
He's kicking his 4th goal for the season. Lost his footing. Close crashes in. Here's Manor. Almost got away from Long. He's kicked a goal. He's just kicked a goal. It was a bullet. And it was a shot the Cats had to fire. Just softened the kick a fraction for Elliott. There was 3 Cats. And O'Connor, who for most of the night has been terrific.
Down towards Neil. Frampton just measured him underneath the football. Good tackle that by Close. Restricted the arm and gets the resulting free kick.
So just pops it up for Mychek. And it's a juggler taken by De Koning instead for the Cats. De Koning, Bobby coming late. And De Koning, who was the only man standing after all of that.
And they get away with it with the intercept from both.
Cameron and Dangerfield a goal side there. They were out and gone, and they're still out here. The intercept was critical.
Defend that well though on the turnover to Neil. Deep. It's all set up for Ollie Henry. At the front, Cameron. A couple of bites. Still didn't look convincing. Just waits for it to spit out. It went to Dangerfield. And then to Cameron. We've seen this before. A Cameron curler. And the Cats hit back. Conceded 3 goals as well, but he's learning and learning quickly. Back to the wing. Perryman, not as sure as normal, but his second effort was terrific. To Cameron, they try and go ahead. This is where the Cats have got better. Up the ante, winning some contest. Stengel sends Dempsey, and in his own way, Wiltshire. Here's your boy Howie. Bowen heads explode.
Well, now things get interesting. A little bit of momentum for the Cats. They're starting to win some of that loose contest ball.
The Pies are standing up, but the Cats are coming.
Neil with a tap. Stylish, but read by Moore. Claimed. Play on. Manor. Yep. It's in.
High ball. Bose comes the other way, not the distance. Sends it to a dangerous area. Henry gets front position. Comes down to Manor. Wobbles it forward. Moore needs to be good under pressure. Only goes back as far as Henry! Bends it round the corner! And the Cats are in front of the MCG! Humphrey's head taped up. Nick Dacos having possibly his last spell on the bench. Dangerfield flips those hands up, takes a strong mark.
Great protection from blitz halves.
Down the line, favours O'Sullivan, gets a fist on it. Now here's a ball, blitz halves, he goes to the middle, it's risky. Needed to be good, it was. They scoop it out. Now Guthrie takes his time, sends it deep. Dempsey's at the back of the pack. Takes the mark. The rising star is now an out-and-out star.
At half-time and look to have the game in control. Now Geelong up by 5. Holmes out of the middle, realised he could tuck it under the arm and just run and bounce. Cuts it back, Dangerfield!
Look at the bloke right in front of him.
The Cats against the top of the ladder Magpies. Patrick Dangerfield without a goal tonight to put them 11 points clear. Talk about captain's goals. Talk about that one. As long as he can, out towards the wing, Dangerfield. Present and dangerous. Forward to close, to Dempsey.
So Moore comes and sets a task to Lipinski. Clark attacks the footy. Here's a ball to be won, tight on the boundary line.
Cameron guides for Pendlebury. Manor. What a game he's played. Speaking of games, Dangerfield, Bose. Hear the noise. Lead by 17, and they are going to be hard to stop from here. They've kicked the last 5.
They're dominating everything that matters, Hutto. 74 to 40 possessions overall. 13 to 4 the inside 50s. Handball receives 27 to 8. They've got the run in legs. They're dominating contested possessions, and they've kicked 4 goals.